All right, guys, Billy Davidson here, the Striping Boss. In this video, we're going to talk about yard signs, especially pertaining to your pressure washing business. Here's a yard sign. I'm in my shop today, so you're going to hear some ventilation fans and stuff running behind me. But this is so important, so I hope you stay through the end of the video, kind of get the gist of what I'm teaching here. I've been doing yard signs for 31 years now with incredible success. So we're going to talk about why this particular yard sign, why it's black and white, why do I have a question mark there, some things like that. So I think this is going to be really helpful. I'm going to tell you everything to do with a yard sign as far as pertaining to growing your pressure washing business. Also, if you want to get some more in-depth training, check out my website. It'll be a pinned comment in the first pinned comment below. I have an entire video on yard signs. So think about that. That could be very helpful for you. I have a lot of success with students over the years doing that. Plus, you get one-on-one mentorship with me if you got any questions as well with that purchase. So with your pressure washing business, you might be asking, gutters full? Then I got a question mark and, of course, my phone number. So a couple things here, black and white. Any other colors on this sign is going to be a distraction. Typically, newspapers have been printed in black and white for many, many decades for a particular reason. It's easier to see. It's easier for the brain to comprehend it. In our eyeball, we have something called rods and cones. We have more of the non-color cells in our eyeball that only detect black and white. It just has something doing with the occipital lobe of the brain. Some research I've read where literature and other information that's presented in black and white is much more digestible to the human brain versus colors. Now, I know a lot of guys make this mistake, and I'm going to step on some toes here. We don't have a website here. We don't have my name. None of this matters. I don't have a multiple phone numbers, mobile, email address. None of that is in this yard sign on purpose. I could have done that, and I've done it in the past with no success. But reading and studying human psychology has gotten me to the point to where I only do yard signs in black and white. And in this particular case, I am telling them what I do and a way to contact me, and only one way to contact me. Now, if we're talking about a business card or email marketing, then we want to give them more data. But that is generally because the person is at a place reading that's safe. They're not behind the wheel. If you are thinking about someone wanting to read your yard sign and getting the information quickly while they're being distracted, imagine a mom driving a minivan or dad coming home from work. It's been a long day. We want this information to hit home hard and quick with no other distractions in our information that we're trying to perceive or give to that individual. There was a study showed that if you took someone that operated at the highest level of human capability, in the example that I read, let's talk about a neurosurgeon, top of the game as far as intelligence and motivation and things like that, and being able to comprehend. A neurosurgeon, someone that can actually go into a person's brain and do surgery, that person, we would all have to agree, is above the average intelligence, or at least they have put forth the motivation to develop those skills. But when they get off of work and they're driving home, even a neurosurgeon falls to a point of the intelligence of a fourth grader. And it's just our human biology is where we're behind the wheel of a car, and I'm not necessarily agreeing with it. You know, when you're behind the wheel driving, you should be at your optimum skill level there, but you know, it is what it is. We're driving something that they've drove hundreds, if not thousands of times, so the same route home from work. So they're dropping down their intelligence level, for lack of better terms. So we don't want to give them anything complicated. They may have had a rough day at work or are ready to get home, and they don't have the time or either the motivation to be reading a bunch of stuff off of a yard sign. Now, it's different if we're giving them a business card. Usually a business card is read in an office setting, at home, not necessarily driving, an email as well. Obviously, they're sitting in front of a computer and they're staring at it with full attention. Then there we want to give them more data, but not while they're driving. This needs to be quick, concise, and to the point. Now, another thing I want to bring up, I'm asking a question here, gutters full. And they're going to answer that question in their mind subconsciously, yes or no. If the answer happens to be yes, now we have the information how they can fix this problem. Most people do not want to climb on a home or a building to clean gutters out. It's inherently dangerous. There's a ladder, there's heights involved, there's slippery surfaces, there's wasps, there's spiders, there's all kind of other insects. And these people don't want to do that. So we're not trying to make a living off of cleaning gutters, but this is a way that we can make some extra money to fill in the gaps. And most importantly, we can upsell them on other services that we offer at their home or business, especially at a business. If you're cleaning gutters at a business, there's no one that works at that business other than maybe a maintenance guy that could go get up there and clean the gutters off of a commercial roof. The secretary is not going to do it. The neurosurgeon's definitely not going to do it. The salespeople are not going to grab a ladder. So we're offering them a service that they can do, but they don't want to do. And that's really important, that they don't have the desire to get up there and clean those gutters. Now, when we go look at this gutter job, of course, we may make $700 or $800. Even I've made $1,500 on a gutter cleaning job that took one afternoon. And like I said, it's good money, but we're not trying to make a living there. It's just filling in some gaps, but it gives us an opportunity to be in front of the decision makers at a very low threshold of cleaning the gutters, something that they know they need and they don't want to do it themselves. So they are probably going to hire that out. Now, obviously, if the roof is dirty, the pressure washing needs done, the parking lot striping needs done, all those are upsells off of a simple gutter cleaning job. So this is why we put out these yard signs. Very, very simple. Again, black and white, easy to read. A lot of times people will take a picture of the sign very quickly, and they want to be able to get that phone number and give you a call. Now, another thing about homeowners, most homeowners that have gutters, they know they need it done, but again, they don't want to have it done by themselves. They want to have someone else do it. They don't want to grab that ladder and have to deal with it. Now, obviously, there are some younger homeowners that will probably tend to do some of that may be on more of a budget. But some of your more established homeowners, some of your more custom homes, these people have careers. They're not wanting to risk a ladder, that the dangers of getting, a lot of people are afraid of heights, that sort of thing. And then as we go to their property, we can obviously upsell them on pressure washing the driveway, cleaning the roof, other things like that. So really important, where yard signs is going to grow your pressure washing business if you do it like this. Now look, like I said, I'm about to step on some toes here, but if you decide to put, like in my case, Davidson or Billy Davidson, gutter full, and then the phone number, then possibly a website down here, then a mobile cell phone number, home phone number, then that sign is not going to get many results at all. But if you do it just like this, you're going to get results. Now let's talk about a numbers game. How many yard signs? I got, I think 8 or 9 of them here. This makes number 10. So religiously, rain, shine, sleet, or snow, whether you're tired, you've been in an argument with your wife, things are not going well at your work, you don't feel like it, you just had a rough week, guys, look, you still have to put your yard signs out. A very minimum of 10 every 7 days. Now look, if you do this, trust me, 10 minimum every 7 days. I really like to see you do more. So if you got a brand new business and you're really trying to get established, you might want to do, instead of 10, 15 every week. Now, of course, this adds up. These yard signs get a little pricey, not too much. This yard sign, simple as it is, 12 by 18, a little H-stake sign, nothing fancy, black and white, one side, may run you $2 or $3 per sign. It's been a while since I bought some, so don't quote me on that. But each yard sign is going to be impressed on dozens of people, if not hundreds of people, as they drive by it. Now, let's talk about something that's real important. Very, very important. And this is what I teach in my yard sign course, and I'm not willing to give out here publicly because my competitors are going to do it and I'll lose business. So if I'm going to give out the information, I would like to be compensated for it, and I hope you understand that. But the placement of these yard signs are so very important. The placement, let me repeat that. The placement of these yard signs is everything. Obviously, we're going to do a minimum of 10, hopefully 15. And I'm guilty of that. Sometimes I don't do 15, but I always do 10. The placement of it is important. Sometimes in the past, before I learned how to do my yard signs, I'd put 10 yard signs out and literally go around the block, putting out more yard signs, double back, taking a right-hand turn, and my yard signs are gone. Boy, that will piss you off. Money you done paid for the yard sign, the process of putting it together, driving around, putting them out, and someone stealing your dang yard signs. That is not cool. Guys, if you that type of guy where you go pulling up someone else's yard signs, man, honestly, get a life, bro. You're not the viewer I want. You're not my friend. Leave people's stuff alone. But that being said, there's going to be some people that are going to be pulling up yard signs. Now, look, do it respectful. If someone's putting a yard sign in front of the job that you're working on, that's disrespectful. Men don't do that, okay? Let's just be clear here. And I've had that done where I was washing a commercial building and one of my competitors throws his yard sign up on the property that I'm actually pressure washing on. I called the number. I was like, hey, come get your yard sign. And he did. But guys y'all don't do that. That's not, we want to be respectful. There's so much work out there. We don't have to do that. So that being said, you don't want to be disrespectful with your yard signs. You don't want to put it in front of someone's house. But there are other places where you can put your yard sign where it's going to last a few days, maybe even a week. And if you go by what I teach, the yard sign may stay up there 2 or 3 weeks, where multiple dozens and dozens and dozens of people, if not thousands of people, will see that yard sign. So it's a number sign. It's game. You're putting out 10 signs a week minimum, hopefully 15. If each sign gets 10 or 15 viewers or impressions, people seeing it, now you've touched 150 to 200 people, hopefully, depending on your population that you're putting them in. Now, it's a numbers game. I'm probably going to venture to say that out of every 10 people that see the sign, you will get one call. So if we got 200 people seeing 15 yard signs a week, maybe even more, you're going to get 15 or 20 calls from there. And look, not everybody's going to be your customer. Not everyone's going to be a buyer. You're not going to be able to close everyone. If you were closing everyone, something's wrong with your prices. Let's get real. If you're closing everyone that calls you, your prices are too low. Typically, I want to close about 30 to 40% of the people that call me. If things are really slow, I may drop the prices where I'm closing 50 to 60%, but no more. That means your prices are too low. You deserve better than that. You don't need to be working really, really cheap where you can't afford lunch. So, again, you want to close 30 to 40%. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but let's say if 200 people see your sign, you're going to close maybe 30 or 40% out of that. That's a lot of people. You might close 40, 50 jobs off of it. Or maybe a little less. What if you only close 25 off of them that week? Schedule 25 gutter cleaning jobs. Think about how many of those people that might buy the upsell, whether it's window cleaning, roof cleaning, pressure washing the driveway. Now we talking about real money. We talking about $20,000 or $30,000 a month. Guys, you can make it on that now in this day and age. One or two guys making $20,000 a month is perfect. You pay your guy $5,000 a month or more or less, whatever your market dictates. You got your business expenses. You're bringing home $10,000 a month, maybe very least $8,000 a month. And this could be done not even a full-time job. So guys, there's real money out here in the pressure washing business. There's very real money in gutter cleaning. And there's incredible money in parking lot striping. So guys, I hope this helps. If you need to share this to a group or so, be my guest. Go ahead and do it. A lot of people need to see this. People need to know that yard signs still work in 2025 and moving forward. It's worked for the last 31 years for me. And fully intend on it working and expect for it to work for the foreseeable future. Now, there are some areas where if you put yard signs out in the wrong places, you will get a litter ticket. So be cautious of that. That's why I teach what I teach in our paid course, where you can avoid that. So guys, I hope this helps. Please like, subscribe. Again, I'm Billy Davidson, Striping Boss, and I hope to see you in the next video.